thank you for joining us. I'm Marcy McNeil, Digital Media Supervisor for Mobile County Public Schools, and we are technically speaking with Miss Wakefield today from Collier Elementary. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for interviewing me today.
Oh, thank you for joining us. You're a fifth grade teacher at Collier Elementary.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got my bee earrings on to celebrate.
Oh, wonderful. Yay. So tell us how you prepared when you got this news that we're going to be home.
Okay, so first things first, we were very appreciative of everything that central office had already prepared for us and done for us. The packets, the links to different educational sites. So really as a faculty, all we had to focus on was figuring out which platforms we were going to use should we not go back after spring break. Some of our teachers are already using digital platforms like Seesaw and things like that, but Google Classroom was kind of new to most of us.
Right.
So quick little training on Google Classroom, and we worked together, collaborated in grade level, and created our Google Classroom accounts, loaded up some activities, some things that they could do digitally. Also, as a fifth grade collaborative team, I should say, we sat together and decided which things we could load and how we could have students respond to them. Because a lot of our stories come from our textbooks or they come from PDFs. So we spent some time going through the PDFs and creating like ways for the students to be able to answer the questions. We ended up creating quite a few little Google Forms. Maybe we would number the Google Forms, add multiple choices, short answer options, so that the kids, if they were to scan the PDF, read the PDF, they would have a place to actually put their answers. So that was kind of new, a new thing to navigate and figure out what was best for our students. Also faced with the situation of some of our students not having internet.
Right.
Got together and discussed ways that we could provide materials for our students who don't have internet access. So we worked really hard on the Wednesday when school was shut down for the students and open still for the teachers. And we've been collaborating since through text messages and Zoom meetings and other things as well to try to kind of keep up with what we are going to do should we not go back.
Right. How long have you been teaching? How long have you been an educator?
This is my 20th year teaching. My third year at Collier. I spent 14 years at Sims Middle School, 1 year before Rourke Elementary, and then 3 years in the Catholic private sector.
Did you ever think I will be one day
a digital teacher?
I mean, this is so new. It's so different.
It is. It's definitely not something we planned for, but I'm so proud of Mobile County and the way we've come together. The support we have all the way from the top to our cafeteria workers, it's just, we definitely have shown that being the largest school system that I've ever worked for, a lot of my friends don't work for school systems as large as Mobile County, to see us all pull together is pretty exciting.
It's awesome. It's been phenomenal. You're right. And I haven't heard anyone complain. No one has griped about anything. They've just, what do you need? What can I help you with? And everyone,
we're just doing the best we can. And I've noticed also too on social media, especially with your the MCPSS Facebook group and page, so many teachers sharing their talents and not being afraid to step out of their comfort zones. I've seen teachers that I work with going live on Facebook and reading stories to their students. I mean, that was just something we never planned for. And you can be up in front of a group of children all day long and I can teach my guts out. But to go live on Facebook and read a story and potentially have adults and strangers or, looking at you to step out of your comfort zone to do what's best for the children, I really, really noticed that as a school system, especially the Collier staff, I've really noticed that a lot.
Oh yes, I've definitely noticed it with your school. What advice would you give? Because you do a phenomenal job. You're
Thank
great
you.
with social networking. But what would you suggest to teachers? Because it is kind of scary. If you do not do this on a regular basis, I mean, I know that teachers can get up and talk to a class like nothing. It's
Right,
second nature. But once the camera gets put in front of them or a
right.
laptop or video, what do you suggest about them going digital to communicate?
I guess the best advice I could give is to think in the back of your head that everything you're doing is for little ones. It's for students. It's for kids that love you every single day. They're not judging you. And if anybody's out there judging you, I mean, doing this interview is out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it because I'm hoping that what I share will benefit my students. And in the long run, that's all it really comes down to is what are our kids going to get out of this? How can we make this less stressful and more fun? We also have to consider too that our parents, a lot of them are still working.
Right.
They are not trained educators. They don't know how to teach their own children. I have a third grade son and I'm having a hard time teaching him.
Yeah.
It's definitely out of the comfort zone of a lot of our parents, and our parents are feeling stresses that we can't even imagine, and our children are feeling stresses. And at this time, I think it just comes down to what can we do as an educator to lighten that burden a little bit for our parents, make this educational stuff fun for the kids. What is a way to show that they can learn in all avenues? Even taking a walk through your neighborhood can be a learning experience.
True. That's so good. Yeah.
Take away the stress of, I've got to get these iReady minutes in, but just sit with the family and read a book together. I mean, it's almost a blessing in disguise. I hate to say that a pandemic is a blessing in disguise, but I have noticed as I scroll through my social media feeds, families just really coming together and doing things together that they have never done before. I mean, taking a family walk is something that I haven't done in a while.
Right.
Reading a book with your children, helping your children with their schoolwork. It's just really kind of a time where we should be celebrating the fact that we are healthy and at home and we're safe. And as an educator, just lightening that burden for our parents.
I think that is so true. And I like that what you said. It's lighting that burden, because we don't want them to feel like they're homeschooling. They're not homeschooling.
Right.
We just need their assistance, making sure that their child stays on a schedule and looks at it or an hour a day or something. Just go with the resources that we have, because we have so many.
Right. One of the things that my students and parents have really enjoyed, I created like a virtual scavenger hunt.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I saw that on, it was on Twitter. That was so cool.
Listen, my Facebook feed is where you got to go. It's just incredible. So it's little things like take a picture of yourself holding your iReady screen and you've got your 30 minutes of reading done, or post a picture of yourself reading a novel, or post a picture of your clean room. Like, are you helping your mom? Are you cleaning your room? Take a picture of you and your pet. And the comments just filled with joy and just kind of a fun way to show that you're learning.
I think that is awesome. And parents can join in
Yes.
the scavenger hunt.
Because there is, some videos too, like take a video of you and your family playing a board game, or take a video of you doing your favorite dance moves. I've seen lots of brothers and sisters doing dance moves together. And yeah, it's just a fun way to I don't want to say make light of what's going on, but just a way for everybody to just have fun as they're learning, I should say.
That's true. It's kind of slowed us down. It's kind of taken us back to, I don't want to say the good old days, but back to where you had more time, you had more family time.
Right.
Not everybody was on a phone and are looking at TV. They were spending time talking to each other, discussing different things. So I think that's I love the scavenger hunt idea. I saw that, a virtual scavenger hunt. That's awesome.
It's been really fun.
Yeah.
I also got an email talking about the Zoom meetings, kind of what we're doing now. And I had never I'm a FaceTime girl. My family lives out of town. We FaceTime all the time, but I hadn't really dug into Zoom. And so just on a whim, I sent a remind message to my parents. I was like, look, here's a Zoom code. If you're bored in your home, log on. I had about 7 or 8 kids log on. We had the best time. And we just sat there together and navigated the tools and pulled up the whiteboard, and I typed a sentence like, Miss Wakefield thinks Zoom is the coolest thing ever. Okay, now I want you to underline the subject of the sentence. And we just—
Oh man, you had school.
Yes, we had a little bit of school, a little bit of fun, and I've gotten quite a few emails from kids saying, can we do it again? Can we do it again?
Oh, wow.
There are definitely lots of options out there for us to still stay connected with our kids and make sure that, we're making learning fun, but they're still actively engaged and their brains are still working, and we don't go, 4 months with no brain activity.
Yes, that's very important. And on that note, as a parent and an educator, what do you advise to parents to do? How do you think that they should navigate this to ensure that their child gets a little bit of education every day?
I would like to hope that parents are staying connected. Mm-hmm. And not completely, turning the teacher off, so to speak. I know that sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, especially when you're plugged into like Classroom Dojo or Remind, or even teachers who have their parents' emails. They don't want 12 bing, 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 bing all over their phone all day long, but staying connected so that when teachers do have something, even if it is on a whim, if they do have something to share, that you are connected with them. So I encouraged all my parents, before the actual shutdown even took place, that, we've been asking you and encouraging you to connect to Remind all year long. If you still have not, here's our code, just sending them out the codes again. And I did have quite a few parents reconnect. Also in iNow, we have access to parent emails. So I created like a little contact list and sent them, kind of a newsletter for the week and what to expect. I know a lot of us are in limbo right now because we're not real sure, we're just maybe we have 2 weeks off in a spring break.
Right.
And maybe we'll come back and things will be back to normal. So I know that this limbo time is supposedly, a little less stressful as far as the workload for the kids, but should we not come back, we definitely have to communicate with our parents to make sure that they are connected so that we can send them the materials that their children need.
Definitely. And that they don't fall behind.
Right.
Fall behind. What some of the websites are some of the places that you think that they could go to get additional resources, or just the basic, hey, make sure you check this?
Well, I know, speaking as a parent, like I said, of a 3rd grade son, my son loves the coding websites. Our collaboration teacher, Miss Hamilton, had, spent quite a long time navigating with the students how to use code.org. So that is definitely a website I recommend. Zooming is great. I would also suggest that if you're a teacher and you want to Zoom, I had quite a few teacher friends from different schools, ask me about Zoom. And so we kind of popped on and collaborated and talked as well. I think as a teacher, if you're going to hold a Zoom meeting, it's probably a good idea to record it. Just because there is that fine line between talking to children and actually educating them at the same time. And so having a recorded class is good because you could also share it to students who weren't able to hop on.
That's
I think for the little ones, ABC Mouse, which is normally like, don't quote me, but I think it's like $79 a year or something to have ABC Mouse free right now for the little ones is awesome. I love quill.org. $14. I think the educator, $14.99 for the year, but they've lifted their restrictions as well. And you can actually go on and create a class list and you can load up grammar activities. And when the kids complete the different grammar activities, it actually sends you their results, like who's struggling. It's all grammar and writing, but it's a fabulous website. I think iReady, of course, is fabulous, even down to the little fun games that they can play after they've got their minutes.
Right.
No Red Ink is another one that I love. It's another grammar activity, writing activity website. Google Classroom's going to be our new favorite.
Whether we wanted to or not.
Right, whether we wanted to or not, I think Google Classroom is fabulous. So I do know too that you can Google as a parent and as a teacher. I Googled the other night just for giggles, you know, hey, what are some educational websites where the restrictions are lifted or the fees are free? And there's lists and lists out there on Google.
Oh,
so
wow.
definitely ways that you can, you know, share the sites. I've also noticed on the Facebook pages and stuff, there's teachers that are sharing their favorite sites. I've also seen little graphics of people's favorite websites. So it's definitely out there. You just have to kind of search for it a little bit.
Right, right. But as long as you type it in, you should be able to find something.
Right.
So,
right. And I think it's pretty great that these companies are lifting the restrictions.
Yes.
And I feel like in the end, it'll be good for them too, because they'll probably get a lot of new clients when this is all over, because you'll have teachers that fall in love with what they're offering, and maybe they'll start paying for some of the subscriptions as well too. So it was probably a smart move for them to lift these restrictions, but it's kind of nice that, you know, the world is coming together.
Yeah.
Fit of all of our kids. So
it is. And I think a lot of the Collier bees have a lot to do with that, because you guys have always been such a tight knit.
Oh, I love my Collier family. Love them so much.
Yes, it's a great school. I love Collier Elementary. I love going out there and visiting you guys. And I love what you're doing with the students. Thank you so much for talking to us today and sharing your tips and giving advice. And I know they really appreciate it, as we do, just watching you guys work. I think it's going to be a lot larger appreciation for educators after this.
Yes, that is something I even wrote that down in my little notes before we met, that when all is said and done, parents have a greater appreciation for teachers, and I hope teachers have a greater appreciation for parents.
Right.
I mean, even down to our grocery clerks and our fast food restaurant workers, like obviously our medical staff and our nurses and our superintendent, and the decisions that he has to make. And, you know, everything we do is for the benefit of the children. And I just really hope that parents can sit back and go, you know what, it may not have been perfect, but it was exactly what they could do and what they needed to do for my baby. And as a mother and a teacher, that's how I look at it.
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for interviewing me. I really appreciate this.
Oh, anytime. Anytime you have an idea, give me a call. You know, I'll be there because you are just the social network guru.
Oh, thanks. Maybe I should get a second job.
You should.
Social media guru extraordinaire. Maybe I can make millions.
That's right. Take all of that. Thank you so much. You guys continue to stay safe.
Thank you, you too.